Alrighty guys, 5th chapter. Oh, I sit on my kitty. Ouch. You little... Oh, that hurt. Look at that. It's just a little piece of skin, but... Oh, you can't even see, I bet. Can you please back up? Let me see. Whoops. There you go. That way. Okay, this is going to be the 5th chapter, and I'm going to try to go faster because this is a longer chapter. It's called The Human Reboot Reset. On a clear night, we could see in the distance different lights that went from east to west, illuminating the way, and our hopes in a mild but very dark night. Butler observed the group that was stupefied by such beauty. It was a giant and silent city. It seemed an electric world out of a book by Thomas Browning. We decided, and you know what, I tried to look up Thomas Browning and I couldn't find much of him, but maybe someone else can. We decided not to wait any longer in unknown waters because of the possibility of being attacked by an enemy that we still did not know, because of the warning of the ship that had intercepted us when we crossed the walls and alerted us about the danger and about this supposed war that was being fought. Although we were supposed to have arrived to safe lands, nothing seemed safe at this time. We arrived at the port of what looked like a large modern city. We were on a deck waiting to be received. In less than 2 minutes, several agents dressed in similar uniforms that those on the ship were wearing approached us, and in a very, very respectful way they welcomed us. "Welcome to the Ancestral Republic," one of them pronounced, while shaking hands with Butler. "We are happy of your visit to our lands. It was something unthinkable. We were informed that you would come, but anyway, we could not believe it until we saw it with our eyes. Your visit is so rare, not to say impossible, but here is our joy to receive you," he pronounced. Butler thanked on behalf of the whole boat and introduced me as the owner of the boat. I was going through all the emotions together that can be imagined and immediately wanted my questions to be answered. Although the fear of being in unknown lands in many occasions overcame the strong emotions of having discovered something immense. I was carried away by the ladder, L-A-T-T-E-R, ladder. I think the whole team started with the idea that this trip had every chance of going wrong. But here we are in the lands behind the Antarctica and being welcomed by citizens of a modern city. It was time to ask everything. "It is an honor to visit these lands that until today were unknown to us," I proclaimed. Before I mentioned anything else, this agent interrupted me, saying that he had to take me to the office of the President of the Republic himself. Since our visit was almost unprecedented, that furthermore the President was aware of it. I hope I said that word right. U-N-P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T-E-D. The President was aware of it and had notified that we take him immediately with him. He asked me to accompany him and looked at Butler, who nodded his head. I went after him among some people who observed the situation. We were strangers who came from inhospitable lands. I think this generated such confusion in people as in ourselves. A vehicle that I have never seen in my life, in all my life, was waiting for us. There was not even a corner, at least in this part of the city, that was not reached by the illumination of the great lanterns that adorned and generated the sensation of being in a tale of the best writers. The silence of the city was now more understandable, knowing that there were no carriages, horses, or any type of vehicle that I knew from my experience in big cities like New York. The difference was abysmal in everything. Their colors, Their clothes were also colorful. The agents that accompanied me had in his hands a luminous device that transmitted different images and voices. The languages that was spoke was different, and I did not understand a single word. A huge stone building stood out among the rest with large and clear letters. It said Presidential Office Rebirth, and the flag of his country was highlighted by a perfect illumination. The blue circle in the center seemed to stand out. When we arrived, I followed the agent until we entered his immense building. There were connections for the passage between each room. There were seats of different types. The lighting was dim. When passing to one of those rooms, I touched one of the walls, which were as cold as marble. I had again some fear about everything I was living. I understood the protocol that our visit was not common, but I was already dizzy between so many stairs we climbed. The agent asked me to wait for him in one of the comforting seats. The truth is that I could have waited there for hours. The comfort of those were indescribable. A tall man with a mustache came out to greet me. "So you are William Morris from the United States of America?" he asked. "That's right," I answered. This gentleman shook me tightly by the hand, commenting that he was sorry to receive me in one of the worst situations experienced in the Republic. In fact, he commented as follows: "My name is Fahl, F-H-A-E-L. It's almost like Faye, but L, like angel, L, Fahl. I am sorry that you have arrived in these times we are going through. It would have been totally different, your visit and our reception in normal situations. You will know how to understand now when I put it in context." I had so much confusion and questions that I could not say a single word. "You see, Mr. Morris, the situation is extreme, and there are moments of tension. This war was usually seen from afar, and now we are part of it. I should explain many points for you to understand, but I will have to be limited because I have many men sailing at this time, and they need valuable information." I nodded my head as if pretending to understand everything, only to give away to the story, hence some answers that could place me in situations. "Maybe you don't fully understand it yet, but we are part of what we could call the old humanity. I mean, we were not part of the last reboot process. Do you understand me?" I would have every desire to be able to say that I understand, but the truth is that I am lost in all of this. "What do you refer to as ancient humanity? How many humanities existed or existed? There were many humanities in different times, as well as there were many resets or reboots. This happens every certain time, already stipulated, or it is done before that date for external reasons. I mean, in a way, internationally created before reaching that time. As far as we know, here in reality, it always happens this way, since the natural way is also carried out by manipulating the environment where you come from." "What is this human reset?" "The reboot is a process they carry out in their lands to annihilate every human being, leaving only their newborn babies to repopulate those lands and carry out the same process over and over again. The reasons for the reboot, according to our information, is carried out when something gets out of the control of those who rule on the other side of the ice walls. The factors can be several, and they do not doubt it. Believe me, the knowledge of other lands can lead to a reset. It could be by pests, floods, fires, plagues, wars, missiles, or war bombs they call asteroids. Or it could be all that together. It doesn't matter how. The fact that we have escaped before is reason enough of a threat for them not to want us breathing. Do you understand me now, William?" My head was spinning. I felt dizzy, and I thought I would fall there in front of this Mr. Fail. Fail. Phil. Fail. Fail. While I understood the situation, I could not believe that all that was happening in the lands where I was born. I sat up in a hurry and started to sweat cold. I understand your feeling, I understand your feelings, William. I wanted to go straight to the raw history so you can understand the situation. There is much more to know, but you will learn it with the days in your stay here. Although these lands are considered out of the conflict, nothing and no one is out of this conflict in these days. Now, if you allow me, I am sorry that this conversation has been so short, but I must leave urgently. He shook my hand again and rushed back into a room. The agent next to me looked me into the eyes as if he understood my pain for the lands I was leaving behind. It was a before and after. I could not believe that all this was happening. We returned to my boat where I had many things to tell the group. Butler was not there. I gathered everyone and told them the situation and how little I understood of everything I had experienced in President Fail's office. The group was more stunned than me. They began to question me that I should have asked this or that. But with a confused mind immersed in the darkness of the story told, it becomes difficult to even breathe. We were all in a crisis of not having anything clear. I began to ask where Butler had gone. They told me that he had left the boat as soon as I left with the agents. We do not know where he was going again. We lost Butler, but now in unknown lands. We were silent, pensive. All this was going around in my head. The old humanity, the death of all of us intentionally. Who could carry out all these macabre plans and with that intention? When all this came to my mind, a defeating sound suddenly invaded the skies, and an explosion made us lie on the ground. The earth shook and the water shook our ship as if it were made of paper. Everything exploded around us. Our eyes were wide open, and we did not understand what was happening. We ran to the desk and saw the worst war landscape that anyone could ever observe.